Hello, everyone. It's Broman. I hope you're all having a good Sunday when you're listening to this, or a good day whenever you are listening to this, and wherever you are in the world. So, like I said in my previous one, I was going to be talking about Star Wars. Um, I was introduced to it in the '90s as a kid, before the prequel trilogy came out. Um, but I liked the prequel trilogy. I at least like that first one as a kid, but as I got older, like going through that stuff, I was liking it less and less because I was at an age where it was boring, especially with Attack of the Clones was a really boring movie. Uh, I thought it was gonna be something different, but apparently not. And then Revenge of the Sith, comes around. And that one was probably at least the best out of the prequel trilogy, although it featured you know, similar to, Attack of the Clones, it features another, like, whiny, bratty Anakin Skywalker. Um, but the original trilogy I thought was pretty good, but in my opinion, I think the only good Star Wars movie is the theatrical release of Star Wars in 1977. That movie, you know, when George Lucas decided to do all these special features and updates on it, that's when he went too far and kind of like ruined the Star Wars, saga. Preferably, the best works of art are really just the books, especially Timothy Zahn, what he did for the, Admiral Thrawn trilogy. Those were good. And then along with the other books, Claudia Gray with Lost Stars and Bloodline, and was it Karen Travis with her books are really good. So there's, these authors, make probably the best solid Star Wars movies. Well, not the movies, but books. Sorry, I'm thinking of two different mediums there. um, but yeah, well, I guess you could say if you want to think books and movies, that's fine. Um, but yeah, the movies really aren't that great. The first one, if you kind of like pay attention to the theatrical release of 1977 of Star Wars, Darth Vader is his own character, Anakin Skywalker is his own character. There was no, you know, hint, nod, whatever, these two characters were the same. As Obi-Wan said, Darth Vader was this young pupil of mine, and he betrayed your father. He murdered your father. He killed him. It's not, the whole persona thing, this personality where it's like a two-facing, whatever. There's two personalities clashing with each other, and, one finally, destroys the other or something like that. That stuff has been touched, I think, in comic books, probably a lot better. But here in this, original trilogy, the whole thing, I think it would have been better because each, like, if you just watch, each character is literally their own character. There's no family ties. Luke and Leia weren't really siblings. That wasn't confirmed until the, Return of the Jedi, which makes, Empire Strikes Back, that scene where they're kissing, a bit weird. And they were about to do it again, I guess, in Empire Strikes Back, in a deleted scene or something like that, a part that was taken out of the movie, which is just gross. Incest is not right. It's disgusting. Um, so really, like, I don't know what was going on. I guess the whole thing is George Lucas must have bought that you know, Star Wars the one that he made was just going to be the only one, and that was not going to be successful. Unlike he thought. He thought it was probably going to be a flop or something, and it wasn't going to work because before that there was always Star Trek. And Star Trek is just better. But although it doesn't have, it's not a huge impact like Star Wars is. Star Wars is across the globe. It's bigger and stuff. It's it's just more of a success. But the storyline though with Star Wars is really, with the movies is really crappy. It's, you know, they kind of like went on with these stories by the fly. They kind of shoehorn things in and stuff. They just didn't have, the whole outline drawn out. I compare it to Star Trek because I can't, because it's really the only other thing you compare it to. I mean, unless you want to say Lord of the Rings or something like that, which Lord of the Rings, has won awards, more awards than Star Wars has. Um, yeah, at least with Return of the King, actually won something unlike Return of the Jedi, which I don't think it ever has. Well, I mean, I know the Star Wars movies have won, best visual effects and stuff here and there, but other than that, I don't think they ever won anything for like best screenplay or best director and all that stuff, or best picture. I don't think that's ever happened because at least with Return of the Jedi, it's a lot of exposition, uh, which kind of that's it's never fun to listen to a lot of exposition. But yeah, getting to the point, yeah. So it's just Star Wars theatrical release 1977, or it just everyone was their own separate character, and I think it should have stayed that way. It would have just been a lot better instead of making the whole thing where it's a whole Skywalker family drama. But I mean, because that's what, the whole thing turned into that. The whole series turned into a whole family drama, and that made it kind of crappy. I think Leia should have been her own character from Alderaan. That's how it should have been written out. She should have been, no ties to Luke. She should have been her own independent woman. But now that she's connected to him, I mean, it kind of, there's really not much for her to do. And I think that's kind of like why it felt like maybe she's, I mean, in the movies, she is strong, of course, a good fighter and stuff, and a leader. But I think it would have been better if she was, not related to Luke. It kind of, ruined the series and stuff, the whole saga like that. Um, I think with the fact that if Luke's father had died, his, you know, in the prequel trilogy, or, at least before the events of, A New Hope or just Star Wars in general, um, that would have been cool. And then, maybe Darth Vader was someone else, we'd never know who, or maybe until Return of the Jedi at least. It's wait until then where we find out who it is. And he's like a completely different character and stuff. I think that's would have been so much better if they went that route. And that Luke became the new chosen one by the Force. Or, to, take care of, Darth Vader or something like that, and bring, the Republic back to life. I mean, the only thing though is, with this whole series, the Republic and the Galactic Empire, who is better? Well, I mean, it's depends on your point of view of politics and stuff and how you want things to be ran. Uh, you know, it's kind of hard to say because both seem to have a problem with the criminal underworld, uh, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you have a massive military, for the government and stuff, you should be able to take that, the criminals and stuff out. But I guess not. I don't know. They, it's just it's how the stormtroopers are written, I guess, in those movies, that they're supposed to be, really arrogant or something like that. Perfectly for me, I wish they were written better, where they're given like seen more as a threat than anything. It seems the TIE fighter pilots are the only ones who can actually hit stuff. But we all play video games and stuff, and we take control of these stormtroopers, and we seem to be doing just fine. Like, if all of us, came together, we'd probably be better shots than, the entire Empire stuff. But, the it's got like over trillions of soldiers and stuff. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. I just it kind of just went downhill if you think about it and stuff. It all became a problem, especially with the prequel trilogy. You look at it, it kind of doesn't seem to line up with the mention to the original trilogy. So, George Lucas kind of screwed the pooch there. Uh, I wish he had done a better job, but it is what it is. We're kind of stuck with it, honestly. And then the Force Awakens and stuff, and Rogue One. I guess I'll do separate videos for those, because I don't want it all to be in one long video. So I'll talk about those in a different one, and I'll explain why I think the Force Awakens isn't that good. I mean, I ended up buying the movie twice, honestly, out of just like, oh, it's Star Wars, it's back, and everything, blah blah blah. And I didn't want to see Rogue One, but I went to see it with my grandfather, and apparently he liked it. But for me, that movie, just I'll talk about all in a different video. But yeah, I think just the original theatrical release of Star Wars in 1977 is the only good one. It's just, because it laid out the foundation for that stuff, and I think George Lucas should have just taken the characters as their own individual characters, not related and stuff, and it would have been so much better. The whole thing where Darth Vader is Luke's father. I know, everyone liked that big reveal, but it was actually revealed beforehand, where it was pretty much said that the son of Anakin Skywalker cannot become a Jedi. When the Emperor calls Darth Vader via hologram, and he's pretty much telling him like, so this guy that has the Force is your son, Darth Vader. I mean, it was revealed right there, before us. But I think some audience members, there has to be a better delivery line, and so they probably just had to do it again, and then they did it again in Return of the Jedi. So it was done 3 times, or I guess more, or just now they're all saying, "Oh yeah, your father is Darth Vader," and they kept going off on that. It was getting out of control. It's like, yes, we know Darth Vader is Luke's father. You can shut up about it now. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think Luke should have been like the last member of the Skywalker family. That he was that hope, to return peace and balance. Although I don't know about the whole balance thing though of the Force, because if there's always a light and dark. They always have to balance each other out. Um, you know, there were actually, in technicality, if you think about it, there was uh, Darth Sidious, the Emperor, and Darth Vader were the 2 Sith Lords. But then there were 3 Jedi in a way, pretty much. There was Yoda, Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi, and then there was Luke. So there was those 3, and then Yoda and Obi-Wan were away. They became one of the Force, and so it was only Luke that was left. And then him taken down, he really couldn't take down the Emperor. The Emperor was just too powerful for him. But he did kind of pretty much. I don't know if he defeated Darth Vader or Darth Vader let him beat him. I mean, in all honesty, I'm not sure if Luke could have actually beaten either one of them. I don't think he was trained well enough to beat them. He just didn't have the years of training from being a youngling to becoming the Jedi. I think, you know, I don't know. There's just gonna be no way, stuff. I mean, especially with Rey and Force Awakens, which I'll probably talk about that in a separate video. But yeah, yeah, I mean, I guess that really ends it and stuff. But yeah, it's just when you really look at it and take, and analyze these movies, really, it's all kind of screwed up with the plots and everything, and the character arcs and stuff. Like everyone should have just been their own character, no relations to each other and stuff, and it just would have been fine. You know, I think, uh, you know, kind of like the Three Musketeers thing. With was it D'Artagnan? I believe his name was. Who was looking for the guy who killed his father, who was a three, well, not one of the Three Musketeers, but was a musketeer. Uh, who was killed by a fellow musketeer and stuff, and he went to go out to look for this guy to seek vengeance. I think something like that should have been done for Luke, who, this guy killed his father, and who was, they were both once Jedi, but this Jedi turned and stuff, and now Luke was looking for, a way to avenge his father or something like that. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Uh, really, I wish it all was done better. I mean, I liked it all, at first hand and stuff, pretty much of what I was given. But looking back on it, it all just everything's falling apart and stuff. The video games are good, at least with some of them. Others could be better, at least from what I've seen on reviews from Steam. But I don't know. But yeah, that's. I mean, the books are good. At least some of them. Others can be a hit or miss, but yeah. That concludes it. Thank you for listening. But I guess I'll do one on Rogue One and The Force Awakens, and just go off on those and talk about those. And then I guess later today I'll either continue Spec Ops The Line, or I'll try to do a different game maybe. So, but thank you for listening. That's it, and goodbye.